Um, we didn't actually take good shots. They were physical. There were those stretches in the second and fourth quarter. I think that we were, usually we have a couple more players who are, commanding some attention defensively, and it seemed like mostly Z and Lauren were the only two who were really commanding very much attention. And so when they weren't in the game, I think it was noticeable. And the biggest thing for us is getting the right shots, and we didn't. I think that we let their pressure affect us. I think that we let a little bit of the way the game was going affect us. And this team we're trying to stay connected. We're trying to build connection. We're trying to build chemistry. We're trying to get to know each other, and we're trying to battle with each other. And we're still learning that right now. I mean, I know Lauren had a huge game, but we could have used a little bit more around her.
Obviously, Allie had an off night, and that certainly affects the flow of your offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that she handles the ball a lot. She comes off a lot of ball screens. We're used to her making quite a few shots, and they were that certainly there was two, a forward and a guard on her a lot of the times. That was a huge key for them, and they did a better job of executing that than we did of executing offensively. We had stuff we could run that we knew that they were going to defend her in that way, and we just didn't get to the things in the same ways as we'd like to. I think the bigger problem is probably how we didn't make them take hard shots on offense. Defensively, they got 40 points in the paint, and they're not a great perimeter shooting team. That was not part of the game plan. The game plan was to protect the paint, and so offensively, 66 not a big number, but a number that you can survive with if you hold your opponent down a little bit. But they got kind of to their spots exactly where they wanted to be too often.
Especially in the second and the fourth quarter, why were they getting those open looks, do you think? Was it just like lackadaisical ball screen coverage, or what kind of happened there?
No, I think that, part of the time we were in the zone, and we got lost once or twice on their good shooters, and then we have to keep the ball in front of us better. We have to improve as defenders. I think that we weren't necessarily always blown by, but they were more physical than us. They just kind of bounced us down. They loved to dribble it, which we know, and they dribble it, and just kind of work their way in there. And if you don't make a stand at some point, then next thing you know, they're at 3 feet, and everybody's pretty good right there.
Playing a future Pac-12 team so early too, just as y'all, we're still at the WC season to go.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to play a team like that? It's about the regular team.
Yeah, I think they know that. We know that. It's going to be a good rivalry. They're one of the best teams in the Mountain West. They had received votes to win the conference from some teams, and I think that they're going to be really tough. They're tough every year. Just the style of play is a little bit different. He recruits really physical, tough guards. He's happy to just usually get back and not let you have any transition. They stick to their defensive game plan. They do it well. So I think that we're well aware of the fact that next year we're going to get him 2 or maybe 3 times. Who knows? And I think it's going to be the making for a high quality game every time we play those guys.
You signed up for a tough non-conference,
Mm-hmm.
and you want games like this, and this is going to make you better come conference time, right?
Sure. That's the plan, at least. But, yeah, I mean, I think that it is. We have a long way to go. We have a lot to grow. I mean, this is part of the process, and we're still formulating a team. At one point, I was talking in a timeout, and I was talking about this feels like last year with how they were kind of getting to their spot. And I said, and none of you guys played in that game last year. So, there wasn't, Neshi was on the court and she played a few minutes, but she had a rolled ankle and was barely played. So it's just, you got to learn somehow. And we got away with some average defense on the road at Toledo, in my opinion, and we were able to learn and still win the game. But today, I think our defense struggled too much for us to be able to learn and win the game, and we still almost did. So couple of things go our way, a couple free throws. It feels different.
And it probably doesn't get any easier Sunday, huh?
No, I haven't seen them. I've seen their box scores. I know that they're good. I know that they've got a lot of returners who are now upperclassmen who've played a ton of minutes. I know they have a really good freshman class. I watched about 3 possessions the other day on my ESPN, and I know they're going to be tough and physical and well coached, and they're going to run all kinds of stuff, and they're going to rebound well. That's just what Stanford does. Usually Stanford does a really good job of exploiting your weaknesses and showing you where you have work to do still. So I would count on some of that.
You talk about how much the team still has to grow. Does playing a close game like this help more than maybe playing a team that you beat by 20, 30 points?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what we want. There's a lot of different philosophies out there. I think that you have shared experiences and you battle with people and then you grow from that. But we don't learn about ourselves if we win some game by 30 points. So you have to go through these things in order to see who steps up. You have to see, where your weaknesses are. I thought Jaden gave us some really quality minutes. Again, as another true freshman who we wanted her out there because she's a great defender. And we know that when we get to play her in games like this. That's how you learn those things. Practice is great, but you get to learn those things. So I think that this is much better. It's not close, really.
Can you talk about having Paige at practice earlier, and just it looked like she spoke to the team, maybe what her message was?
Yeah, I got to interview her in front of the team. Her and Neshi are really good friends. They've been good friends since their time there at UConn, and fun for our team to have her. She just, she gave a message that she's high level. There's a lot of good basketball players out there, and she's way more than that. She's a great leader, and she's someone who gets it, and she understands. And she talked to our team about being present and being in the moment, and kind of that. She didn't use the words next play mentality, but that you just take each possession at a time. And she talked to us about the need to block the other stuff out, or just not even the other stuff doesn't matter. Discernment on what's real and what's not in our society, but certainly in the game. And she had all kinds of good messages. I think it's a bummer for Nesh that they weren't able to win the game. I don't know how much that matters, but I'm happy that she was able to get out here and spend some time with her. It means a lot to Neshi.
How do you spend the next 2 days trying to shake this one off and then get ready for Stanford coming in here?
Well, they're very different. So, we'll have to game plan for them. Just, again, I haven't watched a ton of film on them, but I know that Jordan has, and you don't have time to really dwell on that. I think at this time of year we're still trying to work on ourselves, and there's plenty of our own stuff that we need to get better at, but they are a different team. So there's some different concepts that we're going to have to work through how we want to guard, and some different they defend differently than these guys do. So we're going to have to figure out what areas we can be strong, but I mean you don't really have a choice. It's how it goes. So we don't. Honestly, our job as coaches is to take the stuff and learn from it, and their job is to process tonight and then figure out how to get themselves ready for the next one. If you're thinking about the last one, then you're already beat. So that's not something that we try to practice very much. Anyone else?
I feel like you guys found some rhythm in that third quarter with those ball screens at the top of the key between Zariah and Lauren. What's it like to have a guard that just gets downhill and puts constant pressure on the rim like that, especially when you pair it with a screener like Lauren?
Yeah, she's a great playmaker, and she's tough, and she's strong, and she can finish with all kinds of different things. I think she made a couple. There's one that I thought was going to go in that we kind of needed at that time, but she's a really good passer. So kind of has some Chong-like tendencies as far as the passing goes and just how to keep defenders in jail. And I think she's a huge asset. So it doesn't always have to be Allie or Nesh coming off of the ball screens. They can, because those guys can spread defense with their shooting ability. So I think it gives us a lot of versatility and just other options at some of our offenses, and specifically on that high ball screen, especially if Lauren can shoot it like she did today, which it was not a surprise to us. Maybe some of you, who knows? Yeah.
Struggled offensively at times.
Struggled offensively. I mean, I think we moved the ball. We moved the ball good in the first half. I think that second half, maybe could have moved it, probably rushed a few shots, but I think really it came down to our defense and guarding one-on-one, everyone taking ownership for that. So, yeah, I think it was a defensive game, really.
In In the second and fourth quarter, for either one of you guys, what do you think was maybe the difference that they were able to get some open looks that you guys didn't give up in the other two quarters?
I think that we really have been saying that we don't want shooters to shoot, or we don't want the drivers to drive to the basket and score, and that's mostly what happened. 30 got a lot of good looks, wide open. We just got to be adaptable and be able to change it in the game. So yeah.
And for either of y'all, I mean, having a real tough non-conference slate is nothing new for Gonzaga, but having this especially so early on in the year and having this game at home, I mean, what's that mean to get something like this test early to get y'all to learn more?
Yeah, I mean, having a good opponent like Colorado State is never easy. I mean, I think we have a rivalry with them, from last year's game, losing in overtime. But yeah, they're always a good game. But I think this is going to set us up really well for the rest of the season. I mean, we're really testing what we're made of really early on, and I think that's going to help us in the future.
Lauren, your shot today falling to, 0 for 1 from 3 to start the season in 2 games, and then hit 4 today and 29 points is nothing to sneeze at. So, what did you see out of your long range game too? Just able to sort of get going more on that end more than the last couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this week how Colorado State defend us and defend our offense, and so the 3 was more open than the other games, and so my point guards were looking at me and they were able to hit me with some great passes, and so yeah, because of them, my shots were flying. They were going in today.
Nesh, what was it like having Paige back here and maybe introducing her to
Yeah.
these guys a little bit and her message to the team as well?
Yeah, she's one of my best friends, and it's just not, it's not every day that she goes to watch somebody play, especially in Spokane. So it's just great to have her out here, another connection to UConn, her getting to know the team, just her personality, matching so well with the people. She was hanging out yesterday with my roommates, and I'm like, you're so cool. But yeah, it's just great to have her here, support, and just extra person close to family, so. Anyone else?
And then I guess just now you guys have to kind of shake this one and get ready for another tough one on Sunday. What's the next 48 hours like getting ready for Stanford?
I wouldn't say 48 hours. I would say tonight, like Coach Lisa said, we got to reevaluate what we did good, what we could have done way better in the game, and tomorrow we are already starting to prepare for Stanford. So it's overnight, it's got to change quickly. So.